So in this video, we'll take a closer look at this soundbar from LG. This is the SP2. This is a very cost-effective soundbar. This is the black model. You can also get it in a gray, whitish color. But I really like the black coloring here, and let's just have a look around the box to start with. This is the 2.1 channel soundbar. So it does have a built-in subwoofer, and then it has a stereo channel. Does support Bluetooth, HDMI, ARC, and also have some kind of Dolby audio, but of course it doesn't really have any surround sound. It's just a stereo soundbar. I paid just around $80 euro for this one here, so very inexpensive. Does have, like I said, a built-in subwoofer, and you can see here 2.1 channel, 100 watts of power, all inclusive with surprising bass and AI Sound Pro. So let's just get into this box here. Try to open it one hand while filming with the other is kind of a challenge, so bear with me here. But of course, let's just cut through the tape on the top and just open it up and take a look at what we actually get inside. Inside, of course, we do have the soundbar. It's nicely protected here with some foam as well. And inside, we do, of course, have the instructions. So a quick starting guide, install guide or setup guide, and instructions, as well as wall mount guides. And you can see the 2 screws there, and AA batteries included as well. The 2 screws are for wall mounting it. We do also have a remote. We'll take a look at that a little bit later here in the video. Pretty nice ergonomic remote. And of course, nicely protected here in some plastic. Gotta love all this plastic here. They kind of advertise this as a recycled plastic soundbar, but still, there is definitely a lot of plastic inside this packaging. In the other end here, we do have the power cable. This is a standard figure 8 power cable. I live in Europe, so of course we have those 2 prong connectors there in one end, and the other end here goes into the soundbar. So the soundbar does have a built-in power supply. Definitely very handy. I really like that. One less thing to actually have to cable manage. And then we have the actual brackets that you have to screw into the wall. We'll also take a look at those a little bit later, because I have actually wall-mounted mine in my bedroom, and this is where this one is going to go. It's just meant to improve the sound quality of my built-in speakers of my Sony TV, which are just plain awful. So this is hopefully just an improvement there. Yeah, but you do get those 2 brackets included as well. And let's just unwrap everything here and have a closer look at this soundbar itself. Of course, like I said, I do have the black variant, but it's not completely black. It's just a more like very dark gray color. I would have preferred it to be a little bit blacker with the fabric. But anyways, let's just have a look at the ports there. So you do have an HDMI in. You do have an HDMI out, which is also your ARC. So this is what you connect to your TV to get audio, or you can also connect it to optical in. And we do have USB for service only, so I believe only for firmware updates and such. In the other side here, we do have the power plug. You can see very dusty in there, so it doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence. But anyways, on the bottom here, we do have 2 rubber feet in each end. So stick out a little bit. And of course, the 1 mounting bracket there on the one side for the wall mount, and a little bit of ventilation there. And on the bottom side, you can see mine has been manufactured as of February 2022. So fairly recent. I am filming this as of August 2023. On the other side here, exactly the same. 2 rubber feet, and also the mounting bracket for the wall mount as well. And yeah, all made of plastic, of course, unless you look at this side here where they have like this wooden grain finish. Not really my cup of tea either, but definitely can live with it considering the price point of this soundbar here. But you do have this very dark wood, and I do actually think it is wood. It kind of feels like it is wood, and also a little bit recessed in there. On the other side, you do have the input labeled on the wood because it corresponds with the LEDs on the front. They are like 3 LEDs that you use to adjust the volume and, of course, inputs and so on. So you get a little bit of a display-ish feature there, or at least it can display the input and volume. And other than that, we do have the cloth all the way around the soundbar. So we do just have this on the front side. And here we have the eco product. So it is made of recycled plastic. At least this mesh grill here on the soundbar is. But the rest of the packaging, I think, just is plain plastic. On the top, again, all of this nice fabric. And you have more information about the soundbar itself. So built-in subwoofer, dual actuation or action base, best match with LG TV, but it will of course work with other TVs that support just regular HDMI CEC. And we do have buttons here. These buttons are actually physical buttons, which I definitely do prefer over touch buttons. So they do make a nice click when you actually press them in. So you can control volume, input, and Bluetooth, and also turn it on and off. And other than that, cloth all the way around, and a little bit of LG logo here on the edge. And definitely very subtle. I kind of like that. The remote requires 2 AA batteries. And of course, this is a little bit hard to do as well with one hand filming and one hand actually putting the batteries in. But I definitely manage this here. But one thing you can note of this remote here, or note rather, very early on, is that it just collects a lot of dust. I just took this out of this plastic wrapping, put it on my table there, put some batteries in, and you can see there it's already very dusty. But definitely very nice remote, I think, for the price point. Very ergonomic, nice clicky buttons, and you don't really need to use the remote if you use HDMI CEC with your TV. You can control your volume with your TV, so only really if you want to switch input or if you want to change the sound mode. And here we have it plugged in for the first time. You can see the status LED is always on when it's powered off. Very subtle little red LED. When you power it on, the LED just shines bright, corresponding with the input on the side. So you see when you switch input, it will switch the LEDs. And when you turn up or down the volume, you can see the LEDs become brighter and less bright. And they will kind of just turn off again. And the input status LED will just come back on. So kind of nice little interface there. See, switching between different inputs corresponds with the labeling on the sides as well. So the first one is HDMI, ARC. And the little status LED, like I said, is always on. It is a little bit annoying to me. Definitely would have liked it to be completely non-status LED. At least be able to switch it off. But I have not found any instructions in the manual or in the app or anything like that. And you can see here, it definitely does shine red when it's complete darkness. And considering I'm using this soundbar here in my bedroom, it is a little bit annoying to me. I don't really like those status LEDs. But other than that, leg stay here, you can see I have mounted it to my wall. It was fairly easy to do because there is a mounting guide inside the packaging as well. So you kind of just stick that to the wall, put the holes where they need to be, and just screw the brackets in place. And I think I kind of like this overall aesthetics, and that doesn't really match up with all of my other equipment. So my TV is black, my TV furniture down below there is also black. So with a nice to see the little bit more darkish color, and the wood grain there on the side definitely doesn't really match anything in my bedroom here. But anyways, considering the price point, and I am pretty pleased with the sound quality, I am definitely able to live with that. And also, since it is just in my bedroom, just from time to time I switch on some shows or so on. Doesn't really use this every day. But you can see the brackets here is mounted underneath, and you put a screw there underneath the sound bar, and also 2 screws in the wall per bracket. So you need 4 screws in total, and those are not included. As well as, of course, audio cables. You need to supply your own either optical cable or your own HDMI cable. But anyways, let's just get into the actual sound quality of this soundbar. So we'll just run through some trailers here. In my experience, I think I'll just keep it in the Sound Pro mode. So it will automatically just switch the sound mode. And around 40%, I think, is the maximum volume I will be comfortable listening to anything on this soundbar. After that, it just becomes too distorted and very harsh to actually listen to this soundbar. But up until 40%, I feel like it is still manageable and actually sounds pretty okay. It is a little bit harsh sounding, but overall, for the price point, I'm very impressed. And also you get a little bit of bass as well, a little bit of depth to the voices of, the characters and so on in the movies and shows you are going to watch on this soundbar. But let's just get into the audio test, and let me just wrap it up afterwards. You can just skip ahead a few minutes, but we just have 3 trailers and then play some music after that. But anyways, hope you enjoy.
Say goodbyes.
Saying hello.
You think your wife can hear you?
No.
Then why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
You're going to die.
Maybe not.
Goodbye to you, my trusted friend.
A new day is dawning. New ideas, new rules, new management.
We've known each other since we were 9 or 10.
Who is this? The Marquis de Gramont. Challenge him to single combat. Win or lose, it's a way out.
I don't sit at the table.
Your family does.
Please pray for me. I was the black sheep of the family.
Man has to look his best when it's time to get married. Or buried.
I'm going to need a gun.
Goodbye, my friend. It started to die.
If you win, the table will honor its word. You'll have your freedom.
Under the old laws, only one can survive. Failure to meet at sunrise will result in execution.
Last words, Winston? Just have fun out there.
I want you to find your peace. But the good death only comes after a good life. You and I left a good life behind a long time ago, my friend.
Let's start together.
We got reports of a shooter down at the harbor. Any eyes? Please confirm.
29 victims. Every shot found its mark. No casings, no brass, not a single stray hair or fingerprint.
305 West Fayette Street, apartment 9B.
He didn't come here to die, and he does not want to be found. We're gonna disappoint him.
These people, they're just born plain evil.
Evil is cutting off a bird's wing just to see what happens. This guy is swatting mosquitoes.
Why'd you say that thing about mosquitoes?
I don't think this guy is looking for destruction. I think he's looking for relief.
What's your name?
Eleanor Falcos.
I can think of two reasons why you might be getting a good read on this guy. One, you're potentially a good detective. Two, you're as fucked up in the head as he is. Either way, I'm doing everyone a favor by keeping you off the streets.
I'd be working for the Bureau.
I'd have to ask for your transfer.
She's staying?
Drop your weapon! Eyes on me! You're an artist, not a cop. Use your intuition. This guy's on a spiral of destruction. I expect you to slide down after him. You ever seen anything like this, Mac?
I know some of the army. Very few inside. It's flawless.
Different genders, different races. Some old, some quite young.
There's no pattern. Why?
Nature's not to blame. Culture is.
Open the bag. Open the bag. Fuck!
One of the biggest attacks in American history, and all we can offer is please stay indoors?
Why did you lie to me?
Sir, do you know the name of the killer?
I know he's someone who's lived off the grid for obviously...
Mr. Lamarck, do you know his profession, his place of residence?
You were rejected by the Bureau. You decided not to tell me? Drop it now! The hatred that drives our shooter isn't so different from yours. I need you to use it as fuel to bring me something new. Now.
You have reached your destination.
I'm Star-Lord. I informed the Guardians. Met a girl, fell in love. That girl died, but then she came back. Came back a total dick.
Oh, please. You left out some important information, but that is the gist of it.
I get the same old dreams, same time every day. Fall to the ground and I wake up.
My sacred mission
Is to create the perfect society.
He didn't want to make things perfect. He just hated things the way they are.
I want you all to know that I'm grateful to fight beside my friends.
Incinerate them.
We were always searching for a family until we found each other. Are you ready for one last ride?
We'll all fly away together.
Into the forever. That beautiful sky.
Whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Her? Do not bring me into this.
Knock it off!
What?
Just never noticed how black your eyes were.
They were replaced by my father as a method of torture.
He picked a pretty set.
So everything was recorded with a Samsung Galaxy S23. Pretty good microphones, but of course, it is a little bit hard to actually capture the full volume or the audio quality of a soundbar like this. But I would say it definitely is very, very nice, especially considering the price point. And for a bedroom, medium-sized, small room, it is definitely okay. It's, of course, not any earth-shattering low frequency or bass you get with this one, but it is definitely enough so you can kind of hear that there are some bass in the either music or movies and so on. So I think it actually very pleased with the sound quality. only really minor issue I've had with this soundbar is that I had to remove the plug completely from power because it wouldn't really connect to my TV, and my Apple TV couldn't connect to my TV using CEC, HDMI CEC. For whatever reason, it just couldn't register them, so the only thing that helped was actually unplug the soundbar from power. And after that, it's been working fine ever since. So, of course, early stages here, so I will only really know if there's any issues. Long term, of course, when I use the soundbar, HDMI CEC can be a little bit hit or miss, especially if you're using the soundbar. That is another brand with the TV. So I have a Sony TV and an LG soundbar. Maybe they will not communicate properly together, but so far, definitely been very pleased with this soundbar. A little bit annoying that the status LED is always on, also when it's in standby mode. And speaking of standby mode, it only really uses around 0.5 wattage in standby. And I've not really seen it go much higher than actually 6.5 watt when I actually listen to music or movies. So maybe spike up into the 10 wattage region. So it's also very power efficient. I've not really tested out Bluetooth as of yet, because Bluetooth is not really something I use that often at home. But of course, you also have that here. But I believe up to around 10 meters of range. It is Bluetooth 4.2 in, if I don't remember incorrectly. So definitely I would recommend this soundbar. I think it is sounding pretty darn good for the price point. Perfect for the bedroom, the kids' room, or if you just have another room where you have a TV, like for instance, a man cave or whatever. This is definitely excellent, but I wouldn't really want this in my living room or my main room. It's not really good enough for that. But of course, link down in the description below if you are interested. But that's pretty much all I have for this video. Until next time, take care